In this week's news, online evangelism reaches millions. Hillsong goes to the movies. And could this be Jesus' boyhood home in Nazareth?
This is InFocus Christian News and Current Affairs.
Hello, it's great to have your company this week on Record in Focus. I'm Sibel Kute and my co-host is Kent Kingston.
Well, hello to you, Sibel.
Hello, Kent.
It's great to be with you. We've got a great program coming up today. Sue Rad is tackling the food and nutrition question so many of us have asked. How do I lose weight, keep the weight off, and stay healthy?
Yep, that's the big question for so many people.
Oh yeah, look, I know I've been there. On Politics in Focus today, we'll delve into the grubby world of state politics. Is there any honour or integrity left? And we'll also meet Brad Thorpe, who heads up a worldwide Christian television network and one of our much appreciated broadcasters, Hope Channel.
Sounds great. Time for the news then.
Absolutely.
Evangelist Billy Graham may be 96 years old, but the organisation he founded is at the cutting edge of online mission efforts. Last year, according to Christianity Today, the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association reached nearly 9.5 million people through its websites. 1.5 million of those people indicated they'd accepted Jesus as their saviour after interacting with the website content. But critics point out that although the numbers are large, less than 10% of those who make decisions for Christ online indicate an interest in contacting a church or other discipleship activities. Follow-through is especially challenging for new believers wanting to stay anonymous in countries where Christians face hostility from governments or communities. Moves to repeal controversial anti-protest laws in Victoria have met with a range of responses from international, religious and community groups. Introduced by the previous Liberal Napthine government, the Move On laws prevented protesters from blocking access to buildings and allowed authorities to ban troublemakers from certain areas for up to a year. According to the Herald Sun, the current Labor Attorney General, Martin Pakula, said the laws are excessive and draconian and a limit on the rights of Victorians to free expression and free association. The United Nations has welcomed the proposal to shelve the Move On laws, but others have expressed concerns that militant trade unions, anti-Israel business blockades and abortion clinic protesters will find it easier to disrupt legitimate activities.
Christians ought to be concerned to see free speech protected, where you've got lawful discussions happening on a footpath, which is a proper reflection of our freedom of expression. If there's a blockade and people are literally not making way for people to pass through, then that would be a breach of the peace in my view.
A new movie about Australian megachurch Hillsong has run into trouble with its distributor Warner Brothers and will have its release date delayed by 2 months. According to Variety, negotiations broke down over who would have the rights to the documentary film and associated music, leading Warner Brothers to pull out of the deal. The movie, which focuses on the Hillsong United band and tells the story of a small Sydney church which became a global Christian network, is titled Let Hope Rise. The film is now due for release through Relativity Media on the 29th of May. A sugar tax is one solution being hinted at by global health authorities worried about worldwide epidemics of obesity, diabetes and tooth decay. New guidelines from the World Health Organization recommends that less than 5% of daily energy needs should come from simple sugars. In the firing line are processed foods with added sugar, syrups and sweet drinks, including fruit juices. But naturally occurring sugars in whole fruits and vegetables are okay, says the WHO.
So the natural sugar that occurs in the fruits and vegetables is fine, but when we process it and all we get is the sugar, then it becomes bad for us. God created the food as a package to give us nutrient. When we process it, we're changing that fraction. That's not how God intended the food to be eaten.
New figures show that the Seventh-day Adventist Church remains one of the world's fastest growing faith groups, with a total number of baptized members fast approaching 18.5 million. 2014 saw more than 1 million new members make a commitment to Christ and 2,400 new Adventist churches open, an average of 47 churches per week. Adventist world leaders praised God as they welcomed the evidence of growth and paid tribute to the mission spirit of pastors, church planters and congregations. But they also asked church members not to forget those areas of the world, such as Australia and New Zealand, where evangelism is difficult and growth is slow. Archaeologists say the well-preserved remains of a Jewish home in Nazareth could well have been where Jesus grew up. For some years, Dr. Ken Dark from the UK's University of Reading has been investigating a stone house partially cut into a hillside that is now in the cellar of a Catholic convent. The convent also contains the remains of a Byzantine church that closely matches 7th century descriptions of the Church of the Nutrition, built over the Nazareth home of Joseph and Mary. Dr. Dark says he can't be certain that this was indeed Jesus' home, but there's considerable evidence that Christians living 1400 years ago believed it was. If you're after some creative fundraising ideas, look no further than Ballymoney in Northern Ireland, where a couple of laps around town with a bathtub netted more than £1,000. David and Irene Dickey don't have a lot of church support. They're the only two Adventists in town, but they are passionate about the British Heart Foundation after David's successful heart surgery a few years ago. According to BUC News, members of the public took turns at pushing the bathtub full of balloons through the streets, starting with Ballymoney's mayor. David and Irene gave out balloons and asked for donations. Despite the wintry conditions, there was a lot of public support and some cold, hard cash in the red donation buckets. And I still don't know what that bathtub was about, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out myself. Ballymoney, Irish, bathtub. Oh, I think we can file that one under random but strangely effective. We'll leave you to puzzle out that mystery. Back in a moment with Martin Isles and Politics in Focus.
So you think you've got your future all planned out, right? Or maybe you're not sure yet. What you want to do, who you want to be. A great education matters. Avondale. It's education designed for life.
Hello, welcome back. And it's great to have on the line from Canberra the Australian Christian Lobby's Chief of Staff, Martin Isles. How are you, Martin?
Hello, Kent. I'm well, thank you. Good to be with you. I just hope I'm not letting down Lyle's committed fan base by filling in for him.
Now, Martin, you recently left the pure, rarefied air of Canberra there and dabbled a little in the murky world of New South Wales politics at your Make It Count forum in Sydney. How did that go?
Well, yeah, Kent, we were brave. We did cross the border and we pocketed our pride, but we went over to Sydney and we had our 2015 Make It Count forum ahead of the New South Wales state election. We had Premier Mike Baird, Opposition Leader Luke Foley came out and spoke to about 400 Christians and took questions from key charity and church leaders. It was a great success, really good.
Okay. Now, Martin, both major parties in New South Wales have seen key figures fall from grace in the ICAC corruption inquiry over the last several months now. Was it really possible for the Christian leaders who were there at the Make It Count forum to take anything said by Baird or Foley seriously?
Well, yes, I think it would be unfair to take the wrong actions of one person and ascribe them to another person. I mean, certainly there's politicians in New South Wales that have done wrong things, have done immoral things, and ICAC has uncovered a lot of that. But it seems that from all of that muck and trouble, these two leaders, Mike Baird and Luke Foley, have emerged as apparent men of integrity. And I think it's a great encouragement and no mistake that both of these men are strong Christians. They spoke of their strong and personal Christian faith at Make It Count, and they gave clear and compelling examples of how they carry that faith with them in public life and how it informs what they do. And it's very encouraging that at a time when we just need good leaders so badly, these two good Christian men have come forward and stepped into the breach and filled the void, and it's very encouraging.
Okay. I understand one of the major issues that was raised at the forum was concern for the lack of affordable housing for disadvantaged Australians, as well as the problem of homelessness. Did either of the leaders present viable solutions to those issues?
Yes, actually. That question was raised by Grant Millard, the CEO of Anglicare. And Anglicare recently tendered a report to the government in New South Wales calling on an additional 20,000 affordable dwellings to be constructed by 2020. And Mike Baird specifically said that that was an achievable goal and it was one that his government was looking to work towards. And he said that he'd like to make partnerships, and in fact was working on partnerships with community organisations and church organisations and construction companies to get the resources together to make that happen. So we were able to see in action a great example of a Christian organisation working with the government for the common good, which we know happens all around the world, or all around the country, I beg your pardon, and the world indeed, all the time.
Okay, thanks so much for your time today, Martin. We really appreciate it.
No worries, Ken. Always good to be with you. Thank you.
And now it's over to James Toogood and Food in Focus.
Did you know if you have less soft drinks and drink more water, you're going to lose weight? But who cares? Why is that important? It's not just looking good, is it?
No, and James, most people already know if you lose weight, you drop your cholesterol and your blood pressure and, of course, improve reflux and sleep apnea and so on. But few understand that you also reduce your cancer risk substantially and you can extend your life. For example, being...
up to 10 years, was it?
Yes, being very, very overweight is equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes every day, which cuts your life short by up to 10 years.
Oh, ouch. Okay, but the real question is, how do you lose weight? I mean, you can lose weight for a little bit in the short term, maybe, but it always comes back on again.
So, first point, don't follow any fad diet. And they just come and go because the diet does not address the real problem, which is your diet. We've got to look at what we're doing, what we're eating and how much we're moving to address the core underlying problem. So there's 4 key tips that I'd like to give today. One, set a realistic and achievable goal. So you can have an overarching goal to say lose 20 kilos, but break it down into smaller steps to do with eating and physical activity on a weekly basis. And that's more achievable, more realistic and sets you up to succeed rather than to feel like a failure if you don't achieve things.
So I've set my goal, but what do I need to do?
So then in terms of eating, I think we need to have a change in mindset. It's not about going on something and then going off it and back to usual habits.
That's what I've done sometimes.
We need to change how we eat every day for the rest of our life. So a key thing is to follow a plant-based diet. Become as much of a vegetarian or even a vegan as you can stand. In other words, eat lots of vegetables, eat lots of legumes and include some whole grains and some nuts.
So replace fast foods with plants.
That's right, because the data shows the more plants you add into your diet, the slimmer your waistline, the lower your BMI, and that's from big studies around the world.
I've been munching lots of nuts over summer and I've felt less hungry. Does that help?
They do. They blunt your appetite and even all the calories in nuts are not absorbed. And the third point, James, I'd like to make is to monitor yourself. There is power.
You brought a food diary along.
Yes, in being aware of what you're doing. So, for example, that's a food diary that we give to clients within my clinic.
Oh, does it come from your website?
Yep, you can download a free copy. Yep.
Okay,
it's just a template, and by recording everything you eat and drink on a regular basis makes you much more aware of what you're doing. You can see it across the week, you can see it over the day, and you can see all those little bits.
I thought it was a bit scary. It goes breakfast, then snacks, lunch, then snacks. It records everything.
And it changes how you eat. People always tell me as soon as I start recording well, I just choose not to eat certain foods or to eat others more because I have to report.
New electronic devices?
So if you're a techo, if you love these gadgets, if you've got a smartphone, there are gadgets there like Easy Diet Diary or MyFitnessPal, and you can record what you eat and how much you move there.
Do those stepometers work?
They do. So you can buy a simple pedometer that counts your steps to keep, again, aware of what you're doing in terms of movement, or even wear what I'm wearing here is called an accelerometer.
I thought it was a new bracelet that matches your outfit.
It does look a bit like that. It measures how much I move. It also measures my sleep pattern, because I'm also interested in getting enough sleep. So being aware of how much you're moving, what you're eating is powerful. And fourthly, go and see a health professional, such as an accredited practicing dietitian, because you're going to learn lots of new stuff. Now, we all think we're experts because we all eat, but there's always something new you can learn from the latest research.
Well, if it's a chronic condition, you do need professional help, don't you?
And you need the accountability, and that's how it helps mainly. You're reporting into someone regularly, you've got that accountability, and that is pivotal in making sure you're successful over time.
And if you have a little lapse, well, Rome wasn't built in a day, was it?
Make sure it doesn't become a major relapse. Yeah, and the final point I just want to make, James, is, you know, weight loss can be considered in two stages. You've got the actual weight loss period, and then you've got the weight loss maintenance period, and that's the harder one. Now, research studies show that, in fact, once you lose the weight loss maintenance period is a period you should still be just as focused. It takes 2 to 5 years for weight loss maintenance to become easier, which means we need to have a long-term plan in terms of our lifestyle, and plan to eat better, to move more, beyond the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month period, which is what most people consider is a diet period, but in terms of a lifetime.
Well, I'm going to kickstart my New Year's resolution and think, hey, it's not the next month, it's the next 2 to 5 years. Get some professional help, SueRad.com. Well, cheers, folks, all the very best. 2 to 5 years. And thanks, Sue, too.
Pleasure.
Sure.
Planning your future can be a daunting task. What you want to do, who you want to be, and the road ahead can often be unpredictable. No one really knows what the future holds. Avondale. It's education designed for life.
The media targets our goals with destructive messages. But is there an alternative? Yes, it's Gigi. Gigi is a great new magazine for teenage girls that uplifts good Christian values. Finally, a way to pass on our values in a way the teenage girls in our life will love. So give a subscription to a teenage girl you love today. Visit gigimagazine.com.au. That's gigimagazine.com.au.
Hello, welcome back. Well, we think we're pretty good here putting together a television show every week, but let me tell you, it would not get to you without our broadcasters, the Australian Christian Channel, Digital 44 in Adelaide, and of course Hope Channel. And here with me today I have the president of the Hope Channel Network Worldwide, Brad Thorpe. How are you, Brad?
Thank you for being here. I'm really appreciate the opportunity to be able to visit a bit.
Yeah, well, we're here every week, of course, but thank you for being here. So, Brad, what brings you to Australia and the South Pacific region?
Well, Hope Channel is a global network, and one of the premises of Hope Channel is that we produce programming in the local regions by local people, because the gospel of Jesus Christ needs to be seen in the lives of local people. We're conducting a large event in Papua New Guinea, so I came to visit that event, but it's really part of a much larger, broader scheme of things, and so after this I'm in London and then down into Africa and like to deal with other aspects of Hope Channel business.
It's interesting that you say about, you know, local content, you know, local people, local faces, local voices. This is really important. Possibly the most negative Christian stereotypes that exists on planet Earth is the American televangelist. And I know you're Canadian, so of course you understand what I'm talking about. God Save the Queen and all that.
Amen.
What are you doing as a Christian television executive to sort of break this stereotype of, I don't know, you know, big hair, asking for money, American televangelist sort of stereotype?
First of all, I think it's important that the gospel be seen and heard in the language and the culture of each individual. So there are some aspects of American culture where some programming might appeal to that, and that's good. There's no problem with that. On the other hand, that culture can't be taken worldwide. And so Hope Channel operates currently 33 separate channels. We have about another 5 channels in development. And the big purpose of that is to provide the gospel in the different languages, and with the culture, the faces, the people, addressing the practical, everyday needs of people in their particular environments. So the way in which we address the issue of not having a stereotypical televangelist program is by putting the power, the equipment, the enabling, the envisioning into the hands of local people. So I have relatively little exposure on the network. I'm a pastor, I'm an evangelist, I love to preach, but the real purpose is not to put Brad Thorpe in front of people, but rather to let the gospel be seen in the local context.
Sure, wow. And how is that being received?
Very well. We began 11 years ago with the first scheduled channel in Brazil. The second one was in the fall of 2003, which was the English Hope Channel, which is what you would see as Hope Channel International. And things have just snowballed. We've had very, very rapid growth and huge ownership and acceptance on the part of Christians everywhere. So one of our channels, actually 3 of the channels, a Spanish and Portuguese channel, as well as a more of a business service channel that we have in South America. I think last year they exceeded 22 million individual sessions, which means that an individual came to the website and then went down through a number of different pages, etc. So we are counting this into multiple millions. In our website that is based in North America, we've got at this point in time somewhere around 2 to 3 million sessions that happen every year. So as the distribution grows, of course, the response comes in. And so we're thrilled with what God is doing.
Yeah, boy, that is incredible. So what sort of platforms are you on? Like free-to-air, satellite, what?
Well, we want to be able to have Hope Channel in every television platform that people watch their television in.
Sure.
We have satellite television. In many locations there's free-to-air broadcast. That again depends on licensure and availability issues. We also have it extensively available on the internet. And so a person can use their smart device, their phone or their laptop computer, and watch it very widely there. There's an app. You can go to hopetv.org and download the apps and watch the programs on that basis.
Okay. Now now Hope Channel is owned by the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Correct.
Funded to a large degree by
to a large degree, but very significantly by on behalf of donors. We have many people. Tens of thousands of individuals who are not Seventh-day Adventists who contribute to the operation of Hope Channel because they get such a wonderful blessing. Our mission is not to make money. Our mission is to share the gospel. So we don't sell our programming time. We very carefully craft the programming to give a holistic view of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the mental, the physical, the social, the spiritual, the communal, the community, where Christianity penetrates into the life of everyday individuals. So what we want individuals to experience is a gateway. It's an opportunity to follow a pathway according to their own convictions and their own discovery of how to discover more and more about Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So that's the one of the big differentiating characteristics is that we are mission driven in our programming. It doesn't go to the highest bidder.
Yeah. Look, my boss is pretty mission driven too, Brad, and he reckons that everything that belongs to the Seventh-day Adventist Church should be branded Adventist, you know, the magazines, the different institutions. So why not the Adventist channel? Like, why Hope Channel? Why have you gone that direction?
Well, the reason is fundamental, that the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ is for anybody and everybody. And God accepts us where we are in our journey. God's more interested in where we're going than where we've come from. So the salvation message is not inherent within membership of an organization, well-meaning and well-being though it may be. The real relationship of salvation comes from a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And then as a result of that relationship, a person will want to follow in Jesus Christ. Now, the Seventh Adventist Church very clearly believes in the gospel of Jesus Christ and in the prophetic end-time message of the book of Revelation that applies for individuals today. And we certainly encourage individuals to study and to learn and to grow, and according to their convictions and how God leads them, to become part of a faith community that really is practicing the beliefs that they discover. So the purpose of the Adventist Church and the purpose of Hope Channel is to encourage and inspire and to make as attractive as possible the practical message of the Bible, and to encourage people to follow as God leads them.
You haven't really answered my question at that, Brad. Why hope? Why the word hope?
Oh, thank you. You know, when you study the Scriptures, the word, the meaning of hope is found in so many different ways. We have the hope that God has revealed himself through Jesus Christ. God has revealed himself, the hope of the authoritative revelation of Scripture. We have the hope of salvation from sin. We have the hope of a new life through Jesus Christ. We have the hope of life after death. We have the hope of the soon return of Jesus Christ. We have the hope of a world made new, where we're not going to be living with the horrors of what's happening in so many regions of the world today. We have the hope of an environment that is pure, that is not where you have to drink bottled or refined water everywhere you turn. So the Bible has so many profound reasons for hope that we can really focus in on those. And that's why Hope Channel is named such, because we have a positive message of hope for every individual in the world.
Wow, okay, offering hope. And if people want to check that out for themselves, is it
HopeTV.org?
HopeTV.org, that's
or
the website?
Hope Channel.
HopeChannel.com
that's
as
right.
well. There's a couple of options there for you.
And individuals can come on and look at a whole bunch of different programs, meet the hosts, look at different programs, and there's more and more materials being made available every day.
That's right, including Record in Focus. Hey, thanks so much for your time, Brad. Really appreciate you being here.
Happy to be here, and may God bless you in your work here.
Thanks so much. We'll see you straight after the break.
Every week, It Is Written is available to millions of free-to-air viewers throughout Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea and the Pacific. It Is Written's Gary Kent regularly takes viewers to the far corners of the globe to report on new evidence and discoveries that confirm the Bible and Christian beliefs. It Is Written also provides medical care to remote Pacific Island communities. Join Gary Kent each week for It Is Written. See television guides in the It Is Written website for broadcast times. It Is Written with Gary Kent. It really is television that changes lives.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this week.
Yes, and of course, we'd love you to do so much more than just watch. I know that there are people here at Adventist Media who have made lifestyle changes because of the things that Sue Rad has said.
Yeah, well, that's true, and I'm one of them. And it's great to hear about it, Sibel, when our viewers follow up a ministry or a charity organisation they see mentioned on InFocus and go on to offer their support.
Absolutely. And we always love to hear your feedback on the program. So don't be shy and send us an email or connect via Facebook or Twitter.
Oh, please do. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next time on Record in Focus.
God bless.